Hi, my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're reacting to episode 39 of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. And last episode, Scar abducted Winry, but I was not sure if maybe this is a plan that they've concocted in order to ensure that Scar escapes so that they can work with him to decipher the text. And this is just a ruse to get away from Miles, because Miles obviously doesn't know that they're trying to collaborate with Scar and they're trying to cover their tracks, or whether Scar has just gone rogue and is like, this is my bargaining chip to protect me from the Alric brothers because I know how much she means to them. But I think it may be some type of ruse. I don't know. It just kind of came out of nowhere. There was kind of no build up to it. I guess maybe there is no build up to abductions, but I don't know. There's just something about it that I'm a bit like, I don't think everything is as it seems. I think it wants us to think he's abducting Winry and that there's a negative going on, but it's not necessarily the full picture, that perhaps it's being done to ensure that Scar can get far enough away and then they can be up with him whilst also covering their tracks from Kimberly and Miles, and ensuring that Kimberly doesn't know what's going on and doesn't kill Scar, and that Miles also doesn't know what's going on and kills Scar, because that's two people out to kill him, but for different reasons. And yeah, I guess we're gonna have to watch to find out, but it's also going to be interesting to see Winry and Scar have a conversation and see how this maybe influences Scar to go onto a path of redemption instead of revenge, that he begins to move away. We've seen glimpses of it, but it may be that we start to see him fully give up this path of destruction and violence and start to work with them more intensely to make a difference in this world, not just for the Ishvalans, but for everybody. But without further ado, we're going to get into episode 39. Because Kimberly's not going to attack him if he's got Winry, because he knows that Winry is a protected, what's the word, hostage to keep the Alric brothers in control. But he also knows that the Fuhrer would be pissed because Winry's the bargaining chip to keep the Alric brothers under control, on a leash. Oh, he's angry. Maybe Miles knows about this ruse too. He does. Okay. She's gonna tend to his wound. She's shown him kindness. So she's gonna ensure that he doesn't die either. It's still an act of kindness and mercy in a way that he didn't expect from someone he's directly impacted. Oh, Winry! You don't have to bottle it up though. They're so cute. I mean, good question. But it's better than doing nothing. Oh, Miles. See, this is the thing. There are so many people that you've prejudged who have no direct hand in Ishval. Ishvail? I love his acknowledgement there, where he basically says, I'm the festering discharge of hatred born of that civil war. Miles was fortunate in the sense that he didn't directly witness what happened. He wasn't there. So he can't begin to understand the trauma, but he still lost family. He still had people he loved and cared about wiped out, and those were still his people. He still clings to that heritage still. He's proud of his background. He's proud of his grandfather. But the fact that he's willing to accept that he can make a difference, that one day he can perhaps cause ripples and then a wave that can dismantle this way of thinking about the Ishvalans, is a worthy cause to him. It's a way of making an impact, making a change. But it's the way that it maybe was Olivier. We don't know who it was, but I think it's meant to be Olivier based on their previous conversation about making a difference, making a change. When the Alric brothers were talking about why Miles was in the military because he was Ishvalan and what they had done. But I think that's a really great message to Scar, that there are different ways to make a change that doesn't rely on revenge, that doesn't lie in using violence against people. Even if you hate them, there is still a way of getting through to them. And he's understanding that his background, what he's experienced and what he's gone through, has entrenched this hatred so deeply into him that he's not able to distinguish between who is good and who is bad. He just blames all of them as being evil. He blames the entirety of the country rather than those that were directly responsible for it. And he's beginning to understand that, yes, state alchemists were involved and they slaughtered so many people, but there are state alchemists that are working to make a difference, that are trying to make a change. And the Alric brothers are similar to him and his brother, where one made a sacrifice for the other. And he's able to kind of acknowledge and recognize that. And I think seeing the fact that even Winry is able to show him kindness and respect and save his life in a way that he wasn't able to show to her parents emphasizes that he needs to move forward. He needs to find a new way of tackling this issue that isn't just replicating this cycle of revenge. He's almost repeating the same thing that happened to the Ishvalans. He's hating the entirety of the country, the entirety of the country's people, for the actions of a few. He's continuing to perpetuate that hatred, and he's doing what they did in Ishval. They used the guise of blaming the entire country for this uprising as a justification for wiping them out. We know that there was an ulterior motive, another purpose behind it, and that this narrative was concocted, but that was the narrative that was used to justify wiping them out. So he is replicating that same judgment, that same behavior, whether he wants to admit it or not. But this is sort of his wake-up call, his reasoning for change.
貴様にどんな事情があるにせよ、見逃すわけにはいかない。しかるべき裁きを受けろ。待ってくれ。誰だ？メイ。マルコさん。
They're trying to make a difference. They need him. So that's how they come up with the plan. Because they told Kimberly where the building is and that they had Scar, so they needed to come up with a justifiable reason as to how Scar got away.
アメストリスの錬金術と真の練炭術との融合を試みた画期的な研究なんです。しかし肝心なところが古代イシュバール語で書かれている。
練炭術の娘だな。お前を砦に連れてくるよう命令を受けている。
私ですか？
安心しろ。手厚く迎えろとのことだ。いっそみんなまとめて。
Is it Miles that comes up with the plan?
ちょっと待てよ、なんだよそれ。
So they're all going to Briggs.
研究所の解読に必要なんだろう。
Ed, you know this. Ed, stop being unwieldy. Unwieldy? I can't say the word.
研究所の解読は何にも増して重要なのではないか。
Yes, thank you, Miles. Ed, you're not seeing reason here.
今ならキンブリーに泥をかぶせて 彼女をかくまうこともできる。
Ah, by losing her and then hiding them away in the process as Scar getting away. Miles is smart, but Ed knew that they needed to work with him, that he was the only one that could read it.
協力を約束する。イシュバールの血にかけて。赤い目の同胞よ。
I really love Scar. I'm sorry, but I do.
そういえばこいつらのことを忘れていたな。始末しろ。
I don't think she wants him punished in terms of him dying, but probably punished by being held accountable and serving time.
時とかじゃなくて殺さずに済む方法はないの？
俺たち情けをかけるって。
Yes, because he's not like you.
何も知らんがアマちゃんが。
おじさんたち、家族とか大切な人はいないの？
依頼やってない。
That's awful.
会いたくてもしょうがないだろ。このなりじゃ。
じゃあもう元の体に戻りたいとは思わないんだ。
戻りたいに決まってんだろうが。
それが答えだろ。
Then you want to live.
どうせとかしょうがないとか枯れたこと言わないでよ。元の体に戻れる可能性を探りもしないでさ。
I love Al
様に俺たちのなりがわかる。
because he also wants his body back.
僕は戻るよ。この先何年かかろうと。
You shouldn't either. I love that he's still willing to show mercy despite them working for the enemy. But he can relate to wanting your body back.
ここ鉱山の町だろう？地下坑道行けばいいんじゃないのか？
Oh, Yoki!
いや、こんだけ
He knows a lot about mines.
たところまで坑道がつながっていると、元炭鉱経営者をなめるなよ。
行けます。山の向こうに坑道が出
Look at them all coming together to come up with this plan.
行方が知れなくなったとなると、真っ先にエルリック兄弟が疑われるんじゃないか。
Which is why Ed was grabbing onto Kimberly, being like, why did you let this happen?
半端なことをすれば余計に怪しまれる。
The Scar has to kidnap her, disappear, which will stop the Elric brothers being looked at as suspects in her going missing. I knew there was a bigger reason.
こいつを解放して。そう。
He gave his word.
抱えて逃げる。
I
それ
trust
をエ
him.
ドたちが必死で止めようとするってところを追ってに見せる。それならこっちも命がけで逃げなきゃ逃げきれないよ。でもスカーと一緒なんて。そうだ。お前が命かける必要はない。
He's not gonna kill her.
いつもあんたたちだけで全部抱え込まないでよ。
Oh, she's pissed. She's like, let me do something. Let me help. She's sick of waiting around. She's said this so many times. She wants to help. Trust her.
スカー、余計なことしやがったら。
分かっている。約束は守ろう。
He does have conviction.
俺たちも連れて行ってくれ。
They want their bodies back.
俺たちも諦めたくない。
Oh, Al got through to them.
信じていいんだね。君たちがもし私たちの邪魔をしたら、この国は滅ぶかもしれんのだよ。
ちょっと待て。なんだそれは。
They didn't know.
軍ではそんな話聞かされてない。詳しく教えてくれ。どういうことだ。
So the Central Forces don't know that the country could be destroyed. So they're being misled as well, of course.
スカ、一芝居頼むぞ。分かっている。誓いは守れよ。イシュバールの血にかけて。
Which means a lot for him, so he's not going to betray them.
それ金属製だろ。外しとかないと凍傷になるよ。
エド。これ預かっといて。リレで待ってるから。
What if he's found holding on to them though? They're going to be like, why do you have her ear piercings? And why did she take them out? And why didn't she take them with her?
まったくこの吹雪には助けられたな。今のうちに砦にたどり着いてくれよ。
Oh, but they're going to the fort, but there's people there. I forgot in the previous episode. So the fort's not going to be safe for them.
両親をご存知なんですか？
イシュバールを経験した医者で、彼らの名前を知らぬ者はいないよ。我が身を顧みずに医者の本分を貫いた。
理不尽を許してはいないのよ。
国軍のしたことを許せというのですか。耐えると許すは違う。世の理不尽を許してはいかん。
I don't remember this conversation. I remember the sever the chain of hatreds about forgiving and moving forwards. This is his moment to push past hatreds and find a way. He doesn't have to forgive them, but he can find a different way to pursue his goal of seeking justice.
何が何だかわからん。
Thank God Yoki's here, damn.
もっと褒めろ。
可能性はある。何せ私たちの知らない錬金術だからな。
期待してるぜ先生。ああ、早く家族に会いてえな。
会いたいのは娘にだけじゃないのか。
Oh,
おいお前こそ酒癖が悪くて息子に愛想つかされてたじゃないか。今さら合わせる顔あるのか。
oh May. Does she miss her family?
メイちゃん。
私も国の一族が待っているのに、
Yeah.
いつ帰れるかと思うと、生きている人々を材料にする賢者の石。
She can't bring
そ
that
んなも
back
の
to
を
her
求めるわ
people.
けには参りません。石はなくても、作り方を知れば、皇帝陛下は躊躇なくそれを試すでしょう。
It would cause so much suffering, and she can't bear the prospect.
不老不死。一体どうすれば。
その答えももしかしたら研究所に載っているかもしれないよ。
I love how he's trying to cheer her up and give her hope.
アームストロング少女がセントラルに
Oh
呼び出してきた
fuck.
砦にも中央軍が大勢
Oh
入ってきて、
no.
代わりに
Oh
ブラッドレ
shit.
イの息のかかった指揮官が配置される。
じゃあ、ウィニーたちは。
かくまうのが難しくなった。それどころか下手をしたら敵の手中に。
なんとかウィニーたちに知らせないと。
こ
Ow.
の吹雪の中追いかけるのは不可能だ。
彼を知らない体を持っていて保護主義もしない人間。
Oh, Al, poor baby. What the fuck? He's seeing himself. Is he hallucinating? What? The map. The map.
そもそも別々の肉体と魂を一緒にしようってのが無理なんだ。
僕の肉体が魂を引っ張ってる。
Map! He let it go! Did he let it go or did he put it somewhere? I don't know. It's just the map was there and then it was gone.
エドワード・エルリック。
I love how one's happy and one's grumpy.
バン・ホエンハイム。泉カーチスも可能性あり。あと一人。
To sacrifice, but what do they need this big, strong philosopher's stone for? So they're looking to sacrifice them to create a philosopher's stone. Is it to power whatever they're planning to do? But it's something to do with the door. It has to be. I didn't realize Olivier had been sent back. I should have realized, not necessarily that she'd been sent back, but I completely forgot that somebody showed up at the fort towards the end of the previous episode. And they were like, oh no, and it was Central. So I was like, yeah, they're going to Briggs. And then it was like, oh wait, no, they're going to Briggs. They shouldn't be going to Briggs. But Al's body is getting rejected. So he's starting to feel his soul being tugged on by his body, but he can't get to his body because his body's in a completely different realm. Oh, poor baby. He's trying. I love that he's able to get through to them though. He's like, don't give up. And they're saying, you're a know-it-all. And he's like, I'm not, because I don't have my body. Look, I can prove it to you. If I want my body back, you can have your body back. I didn't remember that full conversation that he had with his, I think it was his teacher back in Ishvale. All I remember is, you know, this path leads to further hatred. But I didn't remember the full conversation, so I didn't make the connection that it's similar to what Remy was saying, that he doesn't have to forgive what they've done, but he has to find a way to break this cycle, to break the chain of hatred and revenge and find a new purpose and new meaning. And that's what Miles has done by becoming the pebble that could become the wave of changing the perspective towards Ishvalans. It's what Winry's doing by showing him kindness and stopping him from bleeding out. She's doing what her parents would have done. She is following their legacy by helping, by being kind and saving his life because they had already saved his life once. He is essentially part of their legacy, so she's not going to just allow him to die. So he doesn't have to forgive what happened, but he has to find a way to move forward, to stop replicating the cycle of violence, because it's only going to lead to further bloodshed and further hatred, and it's not going to change anything. He needs to be the change that he wants to see in the world, and that's what they're driving home, and it's what Rimri's showing to him, and Miles is also showing to him, so I hope that he takes that on board. And the fact as well that he's able to understand that he hasn't fully lived up to what his brother would want or expect from him, that he needs to be a better man, shows that he is going to make a significant change going forward. We have seen glimpses of it, but I think this is going to be the true turning point. Seeing the way that Miles and Winry lead by example is going to make him want to be a change in this world too. I worry though that Scar might die sacrificing himself for someone, that he might sacrifice himself for like Ed or Al or even Winry, just because it would be like a full circle moment. He goes from killing these people to wanting to kill them to then actually giving his life to protect them because he has learned and changed and progressed. But I like Scar enough that I don't want him to die. I'll be really sad if Scar dies, but I have a feeling that the show might do that to give him sort of closure and redemption, that he fully embarks on a change in, and his final moments are evidence of that. As to what's going to happen when they get to Briggs, I don't know. Hopefully Al can catch up with them, but he's having a bit of a hard time right now. I am slightly worried that he might not get there. The fact that Marco is trying to reassure May is just so sweet, because she knows that her clan is seen as the weakest, as the most insignificant. So if the Philosopher's Stone is returned and the Emperor goes to use it, it'll be her clan that likely suffers. And she knows that. And it shows the stark difference. She's willing to give it up. She's willing to not pursue it, knowing that this could be used and weaponized against innocent people. And then you have Ling that's like, yeah, give it to me. I'll do it. But again, he's doing it to protect his clan and protect his people, but not looking at it from the same perspective of that May is, that the Emperor might also weaponize this and bring this pain and devastation to others. So she's thinking about everyone, the country as a whole, and he's just thinking about his clans. I think Ling has to have something up his sleeve, though. There has to be another purpose behind it, because I can't see him being so selfish to not think of others, but maybe his clan is all that matters and he's willing to sacrifice every other clan if it means protecting his, whereas May is willing to overlook her resentment towards other clans if it means protecting the country as a whole. With how much pride Scar has in being an Ishvalan, there was absolutely no way he was going back on that promise, especially when he swore it on his blood. It would be a disgrace to his people, a disgrace to his family, to his country. There was no way he wasn't going to honor it. But I still find it funny that even though Ed knows this, he's still like, don't you dare go back on it, because it makes sense that he doesn't really trust him. He's been an antagonist for most of the series. So he's like, don't think this is necessarily right coming from you. But he lived up to his promise. Winry is safe. Winry is fine. She is returned. They're all going to Briggs. But we'll find out next episode what happens in Briggs and if they get discovered. And I believe Olivier is going to Central. We might see her run into her brother and how their little family interaction reunion goes down. I think that's all I want to say for now. Thank you so much for watching this react. Please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. Until next episode, bye.